Moving right along, we have a representative of the first president of Zambia. And speaking on his behalf tonight is Professor John Tesha. Professor Tesha, please help me welcome him.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm speaking on behalf of Dr. Kaunda. President Kaunda is a founding member of an organization that is well known on the continent now and elsewhere, called Forum for Former African Heads of State and Government. Africa Forum in short. And President Kaunda is a founding member of this institution. Apart from being a great leader in history of this continent. When I listened to my brother reading, making his statement, I was convinced that there will be another book coming shortly. I shall read as I was instructed. So this is the statement from President Kaunda. The High Commissioner of Nigeria to South Africa, the Consular General of South Africa, His Excellency Owen Adam, the Special Advisor to the Nigerian President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and of course the author. Dr. Kaunda says, I'm here today on another very well-cherished opportunity. He calls this an opportunity. I'm here for the launch of a book, the African Progress Initiative. In writing this book, the great and uprising of Africa's son, Ekos, has shown great intellectual treatment. The case with which Ekos brings out and enumerates our ups and downs and our journeys for as a people, as to say the least, very, very expository and highly informative. Were you all ahead of that? He uses descriptive prose in the best way possible to make the book difficult to put down. As I picked it, I read it through, and I didn't put it down. I was gripped with unrepentant interest, which I got the first opportunity to open the first page of African Progressive Initiative, and I never stopped still the last page. This makes me to offer a bit to be the one to write the foreword of this book. And let me say here that this is a message from a 95-year-old man who I just came back celebrating his 95th anniversary. And he writes to this young man, this man. This young man has beyond all doubts proven his absolute understanding of Africa's political leadership and entrepreneurial landscape, making this a very valuable and essential read indeed. This book before you today is called the African Progressive Initiative, yet I can personally call it a concise and explicit road for the new Africa. So he's saying it's in line with Agenda 2063. I can't say anything less on it, and I know that most of you here today will agree with me. And for the few who may wish to differ, I'm fully persuaded by your unwritten permission to say so. It is really a fascinating and remarkable indeed. Permit me to again say with every inch of a conviction and gratitude that Africa is truly blessed with rare wisdom garnished with world-class talents. It is my greatest pride to belong here. Not only is this book so very well researched, but the way the author integrates both the archaeological and the historical facts in the plot is quite remarkable. I haven't read any one book like that before. So he's giving you really his style of descriptive writing that follows effectively from Africa past to the Pan-African years to the age of militarism and liberal struggles, and finally to the ideological insights of an African Renaissance future, gives the book a deeply symptomatic perspective for addressing Africa's challenges. I must confess that although this book is logo-laced with serious retrospective issues, it was very easy to read, and if it was a thriller story and more of a captive page than Tana. It is indeed a book that every serious thinking African political leader and entrepreneur should have in his or her library. Well, here I'm getting orders that I should buy 40 pages, I'll explain. But there are 40 members. The Africa Forum has 40 members, which also tells you that the political landscape on the continent is changing. We have moved from the period of coup d'etats, military takeovers, and the rest, to that we now have 40 presidents who have left office democratically. You don't become a member of the forum. I'm just adding on President Kaunda's. He told me to explain that. You don't become a member of the forum if you don't go through the following: democratic entry, democratic exit, number one. Number two, contribution to the advancement of peace, security, stability, and economic development in your country, in your sub-region, and in Africa. And the last one, which is very interesting, and I'll explain it, is, for lack of a better word, I always say that we don't find you in the book in Panama. Your name is not in the Panama book. I don't know how many of you have read the Panama Papers. So that's the critical landscape, that you don't have money offshores. You didn't steal money from anybody. If you go through this, you become a member of the forum. And so Africa is changing. We have 40 of these people who have gone through these three criteria. And we're getting more. In fact, out of that, just to finish and explain what President Kaunda would have told you more, out of these 40, we have an African, Sudanese African, who established something he calls Mo Ibrahim laureates. Now, to be a Mo Ibrahim laureate, you have to go through 73 indicators. I was thinking the other day, I said, I was trying to challenge this, and I said, how many can Trump go through these 73 indicators? And I don't think it is possible. I was thinking, how many of the Western European countries can go through 73 indicators? I only gave you 3, but 73. But let me tell you what, and I'll end here. We actually have 6, and now 7 who have gone through this, African leaders, who are very clean. 7. They are now called Mo Ibrahim laureates. There are 7 of them who went through 73 indicators. So the political landscape on the continent is changing, and that's what the message that President Kaunda is encouraging, that the youth must get involved. The youth must stop walking to Europe. They must go back to agriculture and the rural areas, and they must produce. There is a tendency in Africa that to be an entrepreneur, you are a failure. You must work for government. No, wrong. Africa is open. We have the largest landscape, land 73,000 kilometers or so on. We can feed the world. We don't have to order from anywhere in the world. I think that's what Kaunda wanted me to say, and to praise you for that. And he wants to see you, the other one, as soon as possible, so that you don't go get lazy and don't write another one. And congratulations, and thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, sir. You're definitely speaking to me. Now we're going to be drawing close to the end and close to dinner, and close to our launching section of our program tonight. But before we get there, I'd like to please welcome before us, yes, sir, the Honorable Senator who was sitting there in a very suave outfit. So you look very good tonight. Very, very good. He's going to be speaking to us also about the importance of him being here, the importance of more Nigerian leadership being here. Please won't you welcome the Honorable Senator Babafemi Ojudu.
Greetings to you all our brothers and sisters who are gathered here tonight to share of this glory. And also appreciate the representative of Nigeria in this country, the Consul General, and his colleague on the high table. And also our elder statesman sitting right by me, representing President Kaunda, Professor Tesha. God bless you, Papa. And to Dr. Emeka, you are all welcome. Now, it's a pleasure to be here today, to be part of this event. I got wind of this. I got an invitation to be here almost about 2 months ago. And every day I wake up, I pray that nothing will obstruct my coming to participate in this event. Because Ekos meant quite a lot to me as a young man, a young friend of mine, who is passionate about Nigeria, who is passionate about Africa. Listening to him, reading his speech, that is the longest speech I've encountered by an author, talking, at his own presentation. And that, for me, signifies the fact that he's very passionate about the topic, that he has written on. And, I'm still trying to decode how a man who counts money and sign deals could also double as an intellectual to put together this kind of brilliant piece. It does mean that Ekos is a polymath who is comfortable both in the boardroom and also in the intellectual environment.
All right, our next speaker is someone very pivotal to tonight. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Emeka Ugwu. He's our chief launcher, and he is the president of the Nigerian Doctors Forum here in South Africa. He's going to give us instructions about how we can make this book not only a success, but a great success. So.
Good evening. There was a day I was taking my kids to school, and my 8-year-old son said, "Daddy, you said you're more than 40 years. I said, "Yes, my boy." Then he said, "Okay, have you written a book?" I said, "No." So my daughter kept quiet, and the next day I was home, and there's a way she wants to address me, like she's the only girl in the house apart from my wife. So she came to my room, and she did like this. And she said, "Daddy, yesterday Okwi asked you if you've written a book, and you said no. Every time you tell us you're writing exams, you tell us you have this degree, you have that degree. I've never written a book." Well, she wrote a book at the age of 7 and published it when she was 9. So she thinks that every person should write a book. She comes back from school, and you'll be chatting with her. Within a space of small time, she has read 2 books. And she comes. The latest thing is she challenges both me and the mother. She asks us questions that we can never answer. All the history in the world, she knows about it, and that's quite challenging to me. So, Honorable, you've done something that is quite wonderful that so many of us cannot do, I am a proud African, but I'm a bit worried about Africa. I'm worried because, as we all know, our continent is awash with all forms of potentials, human, natural resources, and all forms of potentials. But we are lagging behind other continents in the world. I know I had had this discussion with you. Sometimes we don't know. We had argued about Africa and blaming the wars on colonialism, on slave trade, and all sorts of things. But I think it's a high time we stop our excuses. It's time to unite and face our problems and try to decipher solutions to our problems. The time is now to unite and present a common front to our common problems. We need progressive-minded leaders and active citizenry to propel us to the expected positions in the Committee of Nations. This book, therefore, had no better time than now. Honorable Ekos, I salute you, as I had said before. I salute your leadership that you provide on the continent. Your legacies could be summarized in the popular Latin expression, primum inter pares, the best and the first amongst equal. You epitomize, to a large extent, this dictum. I am very glad that you were able to put your wisdom in the form of written words that will outlive many of us. I have no doubt that this book will add tremendous value to our collective struggle for excellence as a continent. I thank you again for your efforts. I am honored and at the same time humbled to be the chief launcher of this important literary leadership and academic work put together by a great leader himself. The position of a chief launcher, I must warn you, is not someone who will kickstart the book launch, not someone to set the bar. Honorable Senator is here and the and an advisor to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it's just somebody to kickstart. Honorable Ekos, as we all know, he supports every person and everything that has to do with humanity, more so to Nigerians and the entire Africa. We can never pay him back for all that he does for us. It is, however, time to appreciate him, his time, and the work he has put together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Emeka. That's a very handsome number right there. So if you're South African and you're not quite sure what's going on because you're like, but I thought we were at the book launch, so what are we launching? Well, we're now going to buy the book. And it's not just about buying the book, it's about showing our commitment to Ekos and to showing our commitment to the vision that this book stands for. So I'm going to call on the following people who are also part of our launches.
Great Nigerians, Sambonane, Dumelan, Your Excellency, the Consul General of Nigeria, the Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the representative of our elder statesman, Kenneth Kaunda, a man of the moment, Ekos and wife, Akpokabayen. You know, Ekos, when they read your biography, I was actually happy over all the circumstances that failed you from following your career, because that availed us the opportunity to have you in South Africa. If you had gotten those opportunities, you wouldn't have been in South Africa. So as you were talking, I was busy putting my pen on paper to say that African states need to review our laws and incorporate our core values and guiding principles. I also said we need cultural and political unity. We need Afrocentric development and the conceptualization of Ubuntu. What is Afrocentric development? It means development in African terms. If you are in a particular area, for those doing construction, if you go to a place that has certain landscape, there is a way you are going to shape your structure. This is Africa. We have our culture. We're supposed to go back to Ubuntu conceptualization. We need to craft new pan-Africanism where the issues that border on our culture will be discussed. Our cultural unity must equally guide our foreign policy decisions and objectives. Africa cannot keep on imitating the Europe. When you go to the legal field, you talk about English law, you talk about Roman Dutch law. you don't talk about our own traditional laws based on our own way of life. So, Ekos, we appreciate you. You have actually done us proud by showing the much interest you have in the continent and also the progress of the continent. I'm going to pay my own cash now to take a copy.
Next up, we've got Advocate Rita Ozoemena.
Good evening, everyone. Your Excellencies, all protocols observed. My chairman, I'm very proud of you today. And I didn't know that you had those ideas. And when I spoke to you a few days ago, we chatted about how to take this book forward. I am academic inclined, and I understand very well what you have done. I'm very proud of you. And so this evening, to support you on behalf of my family and Independent Pan-African Youth Parliament that I represent, I will buy a book. I will buy books for this organization of young people, because we are trying to train young leaders, and they will need to understand what you have put down in order to chart a way forward for the Africa we want. Thank you very much.
The launching of this book came actually at the right time, a time where distinguished members of our community were arrested in America over crimes, a time where our community are attacking senators in the public and others support it, others say it's wrong. But this kind of revolution is important. Everybody wants political revolution. What about food revolution? What about the intellectual revolution? These are the things that make the community move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please, launching this book is important, but I advise you to increase the discussion of the subject matters of this book. This will make it more important and make it become a book that people read so that they will understand the ingredients of this book, so that the second edition will also possibly include those observations.
There's very little good news coming out of this country about Nigeria. And to be here is a refreshing air from all the multitudes of voices of condemnation that is going towards your country. And we need voices and people of excellence that is going to raise voices that is going to overshadow the voices of condemnation, that is overshadowing the goodness and the good characters and the good personalities, good institutions that Nigerians are building in this country. But I have just some questions rather than making comments on your book. I notice your acknowledgement of leaders of Africa. Your acknowledgement has to do with mostly the foundational leaders of our continent. Is that an indictment of the recent leaderships? Are you telling us something that we need to know more when we read this book? But thank you for this book. What is it that makes you think that pan-Africanism is not a dead concept among the young people? It is not popular among the people of your age, probably my age, probably the age of the people sitting around you. But why? How did you cross that chasm of time and span and space and connect that pan-Africanism is still a concept in your generation and future generations? I want you all to read this book. I hope you get the answers in this book.
Good evening, everyone. I stand on all the protocols, but in particular, Your Excellency, the Consul General, Godwin Adama. Mr. Ekos, I've known the way he's so passionate about anything that has to do with Nigerians, especially in South Africa. It's been years, not only now. And he has done a lot, putting his financial resources in everything that has to do with our community. Apart from being a political leader, like he is the chairman of PDP South Africa, he has cut across every aspect of our community, either at Egbomo Yoruba, Igbo, Niger Delta organization. We really love him because it's evidence today that the passion and whatever is burning in him, he was able to put it on the papers. He was able to put it in this book that we're launching today. And it's really important that the Africans has to unite one way or the other, because there's no way we can be able to take the glory of this continent further if each time we have to fight with each other. We have to decide, this is who I want to be, this is who I am not going to be, and some people are doing this, some people are doing that. So with this African Progress Initiative, definitely we have to move forward.
You're very gentle, but your words are very powerful. I want to say thank you for doing this for us. We'll read these books, we'll buy, and we'll sponsor this book more as we do in church, because the book has to go around schools and everywhere. So thank you very much for being who you are, for being the leader you are.
So on the count of three, I think on the count of three it would be very good of us to say a progressive Africa and we cut the cake. 1, 2, 3. A progressive Africa.
Yeah, my name is Ibrahim. Hey, brilliant. For the first time as an Indian guy, to look at the African people going forward, blessed. Always good to see another man progressing. This book is, I've just browsed through it, but it's going to go too big. Too big, yeah. Basically, it's a simple understanding to understand what a book is. I'll be honest with you, I don't really like reading books. But when I open this book here, I want to read the whole book.
Yes, my name is Kurtley.
Okay. Now the book launching, the man of the moment, Ekos. What can you say about him?
I think he's a highly educated man. He's obviously very intelligent. I think he really believes in the future of Africa, and I think that this book is evidence of that. He's definitely got a passion for Africa and the future development of Africa, and I solely believe in that behind him as well. I believe in what he's doing with this book and what it can do for Africa as a continent. I do congratulate him on what he's done here, and I think it's a really big achievement, and it's a big step forward for Africa itself.
All right, viewers at home, it is said that behind a successful man, there's always a lady, a woman to say. Here is the wife to the author. How are you, ma'am?
I'm very well, thank you.
Sorry, I have a question for you, ma'am. During the process of putting this book together, how has it been?
It was a good journey. He was always doing his research, would work very late, trying to put things together. But he was so happy writing. He was very, very happy while writing the book, and I'm so happy. It's a good book. It's a very good book.
That's great. From you to him, what are your words of inspiration, or what would you love to say to him?
My dear husband, I'm so happy to be married to you. You are such an inspiration. You support me. You advise me, and it's so nice to see people are saying that as well. And I'll just like to say, continue being who you are.